My next guest is a reporter whose newest book, A Call for Revolution, reveals, among other things, how the government spent $23 million to find out how long it takes for the mail to be delivered. Please welcome Martin Gross. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
You've got some complaints about our government. I understand.
I think we have the greatest country in the world, and probably have the worst government in the world. And that wasn't the case back in Harry Truman's time. Truman was a frugal guy, and he brought in a $16 billion surplus, fought the Korean War, had the Marshall Plan, the GI Bill of Rights. That $16 billion would be a $200 billion surplus. But today it's exactly the opposite, as you know. We have a $275 billion surplus, but mostly the government lies, because the real surplus is $375. They don't count the money that they steal each year from Social Security or from Medicare. This year they're going to steal $63 billion from Medicare, and they've stolen $418 billion so far. When I say stolen, I don't mean borrowed, because the money can't be paid back. It's part of the $4.3 trillion debt. It's gone. They don't get a treasury bond. They get an IOU with, on the back it says lots of luck. So the money is never coming back. And the politicians, God bless their pathologically lying souls.
Hey, that's kind of strong.
Yeah, it is. Actually, it's an understatement. Because they tell us that Medicare is bankrupting the nation. The reality is, as of October 1, they've stolen $131 billion from the Medicare fund, so that it's not that the government is supporting Medicare, it's that the FICA taxes and Medicare are supporting the government. And that money goes to pay for the federal pensions, for the bloated costs of government, for 1,300 private airplanes, for 340,000 cars, for several hundred chauffeur limos. And basically, I used to call it the Anglo Mafia, but now they have blacks and Italians and Jews, so it's really very all-American mafia.
Now, hold on a sec. I was looking through some of your statistics. First of all, I was going to, in your opinion, who broke our government? You say it works with Truman, and then someone smashed it. Now you're unhappy.
Yeah. Up through, Truman brought in a surplus. Eisenhower was reasonably good. We had a pretty much balanced budget.
Hey, I got an Eisenhower mug.
That's good, that's
Huh?
good. He was a...
I'm your friend.
The government was broken because the Democrats invented bad government and the Republicans learned to love it. So we had bipartisan stupidity. Now, the way they broke it was to first break the Constitution. The Constitution, 10th Amendment, said that if the powers were not enumerated for the federal government, they belonged to the states and the people. Well, that became a discarded piece of paper, so that just yesterday, Wisconsin asked the federal government to change the welfare rules, and the government said, you can. Well, the Constitution would allow Wisconsin to do whatever it damn pleases, but the federal government now has become sort of the best way to describe it is a kind of Mussolini dictatorship. That is, Washington, in that case Rome of Mussolini, tells the states and the cities what to do, and they can't do anything about it, so that Anchorage, Alaska just informed me that to fulfill EPA...
Who in Anchorage?
The mayor.
Oh, okay.
The
whole state.
Right. City.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. They have to spend $428 million, which is 2 years' budget, in the next 6 years, to fulfill the pollution requirements of the EPA. And they don't have much problem because it's pretty clean up there. So we have really a very expensive government, does almost nothing for the people, and steals a great deal of money, lies on taxes. For example, they don't raise the tax rates. What they do is they lower the exemption. So when I was a young married in 1950, the exemption was $600 a person.
Right.
That would be $8,700 today with inflation, but we only get $2,300. So why raise the tax rates, which everyone will know about? Just keep the exemption down. And so we have really...
I'm completely lost. I'm sorry. Now, wait a minute. I've got to write all this down, or it's not going to work. No, now, I have a lot of your book is filled with what you think is wasteful spending in the government.
Right.
And one of your complaints was $200,000 to celebrate Smokey the Bear's 50th anniversary.
Yes.
And I think to myself, come on, it's Smokey the Bear.
That's right. What the hell?
What's wrong with Smokey the Bear?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, the little pork that I talk about in the government, which is about $8 billion a year, my favorite one is one of the signers of the Constitution, Pinckney. They spent $300,000 to memorialize his home, which is not a bad idea. The only trouble is that he died before the house was built. And then we've got a guy from Pennsylvania, a congressman, who took a monorail for downtown Altoona. The only problem was the monorail was bigger than Altoona. So that was a...
Was it a nice monorail, though?
Very nice.
All right, then.
$35 million monorail. Basically, what the government does is that it provides almost nothing for the middle-class American who pay 85% of the taxes, and the money goes to the rich, to the undeserving poor, to the banks, to the utilities. Example.
Do you get audited a lot?
No.
The government must be angry with you.
Well, actually, the White House called me 2 months ago before the VP's Reinventing Government to congratulate me on the book. Several hundred copies were sent to the president, who gave them to Al Gore, who did a reinventing of government, which was just peanuts. Reality, we have to de-invent the government. This government takes 42 cents of every dollar.
Right.
Under Truman, it took 21 cents. And the difference between America 1952 and America 1993 is that 21 cents, which comes out of our pockets, and we can't afford. All right. I'll give you an example. I'm a senior.
Make it quick, though.
Quick. I'm a senior citizen.
Yes.
I've been paying Social Security for 53 years, since I was 15. Not only don't I get a nickel because I'm working, but I pay $8,000 a year in because I'm self-employed. So I said to myself, who figured that out? And more important, is he still institutionalized? So we have a government that takes the money, provides almost nothing, and it all goes into this giant bureaucracy which is eating us alive.
How would you stop it?
Well, I have a whole book on that.
Oh,
Read the book. Here, I got an idea. You read the book, and you watch the video, and everything will be good.